Hello everyone, welcome to Java Expert. In today's video, we will discuss about Spring integration. What is Spring integration? Spring integration enables lightweight messaging within Spring-based applications and supports integration with external systems via declarative adapters. In simple words, if you have a Spring Boot application where you want to integrate with any other third-party system or any other external systems, you can go with Spring integration. So Spring integration provide multiple way of integration with third-party systems. So based on your requirement, you can select any one way and we can implement it. So we have a different components in Spring integration. We will go through one by one very quickly. The first one is gateway. Gateway is the entry point to the messaging system. So if you want to integrate with any third-party system, then gateway is the entry point for the messages. A splitter. Filter component can split the message into multiple messages for processing. For example, if you have a message where you want to split it into multiple messages for a different kind of processing, in that place we can use splitter, which will help to split the one message into more than one. Router. Router component can route the message to respective channel. For example, if we are using a splitter, so you splitter one message into multiple messages, and each message needs to be routed to different channel for processing. So in that place, we can use the router to route the message to its respective channel. Aggregator. Aggregator can collect the list of messages from a channel and aggregate for final response. So in this case, for example, if I use a splitter and router and messages getting splitted to multiple messages and routed to its respective channel, once those messages are processed by the receiver side and the response will be collected by the aggregator component and the response will be aggregated and we can work with final response. And the last one is poller. Poller is a component which can be configured to pull the messages from channel. So there are we have multiple channels. We will see it in the next slide. So there are channels where we have to pull the message from the channels. So we have to configure a poller component. Based on the configuration, that particular poller component will pull the message from the channel and it will for a processing. So these are the basic components we have in the Spring integration. When you are going for a Spring integration implementation, we have to remember these components. Based on our requirement, we can use this. Different types of channels. So I just mentioned a few widely used channel names here. There are few more here, but I just mentioned widely used channel names. So direct channel. So this is the default channel in the Spring integrations, which means if you are not mentioned the channel name explicitly in the code, so Spring integration internally it will use direct channel only. And executor channel. So we have to compare a direct channel with the executor channel so that you can really understand what it is. In case of direct channel, so we have a sender and receiver. The both sender and receiver side will be handled by the same thread, which means sender thread will be blocked until it got processed at receiver end. In single term, direct channel it is not at all a kind of a channel. It is a point-to-point delivery. Sender will send the message and the same thread will receive the message and will process it. But in case of executor channel, sender and receiver will be handled in a different thread. So sender will place the message in a channel and there is a new thread will be created and though that thread will take care of the receiver side in the processing. In that case, that kind of requirement where we don't want to block the sender thread, then we can go for executor channel. Queue channel. So by the name itself, we can say there's a queue channel. So sender will place the message in the queue and receiver needs to pull from the queue. This is the place where you have to use the poller component. So that's a queue channel. In the queue channel, we can define the queue size. So if you're defining queue size as a 50, we can place the 50 messages. If we are more than that, and then we have to center that needs to wait. So that's the purpose of queue channel. If you want to store the message temporarily. So queue channel it will store that message temporarily and priority channel. So it is similar to queue channel, but we can set the priority. In case of queue channel, it is a FIFO model, first in first out. But in case of priority channel, in the request message itself, you can set the priority. So based on the priority, the receiver will receive the message. That's the difference. Publish subscribe channel. So publish a subscribe channel. So here we'll have one sender, but there are more than one receiver will subscribe to the sender channel. So one message will be sent by sender, and there are more than one receiver will receive the message. Kind of a notification, some kind of a publishing the message kind of thing. In those cases, we can use publish subscribe channel. So these are the different types of channels. So what we are going to now in the practical is we are going to write down simple program to demonstrate how the direct channel is working. So this is what we are going to demonstrate. Like we have a client and we are going to use a message gateway. This is the entry point for this Spring integration, and we are going to use this order request in queue, and there will be a place order method that will be invoked. Then once that is done, then the one more queue we are going to use, that's the order process channel. So that's queue, that channel we are going to use it, and there's a method called order confirmation. Once that is done, that message will be placed in order place channel, and from there, the response will send back to message gateway, and the response will be received with client. So here, all this order request in order process channel, order reply channel, all these three channels of direct channels. So we are not going to mention explicitly this direct channel, which means Spring integration. Internally, it will use direct channel only. So this is what we are going to demonstrate in the practical session. Start. Let's quickly create a Spring Boot project. So Spring integration demo will use. Next, so we have to use Spring Web and Spring integration dependencies. So we have to use only these two dependencies. That's enough to demonstrate this direct channel. Let's wait for some time. Build our project. Our project is ready. So first, we'll just quickly create a model class. We need a model package, and we need this. We need controller. Wait. So first, create model classes. I will use model class. I will create few fields. We will create these four fields. Now we'll create gateway. So this will be our entry point. So gateway will be the interface, right? So here we need a method. So public. So we are using order object, right? So basically we are going to place the order object, and once order is confirmed, I will get the response back. So basically in the messaging in the integration part, we are going to pass the order object. So we'll get back the response also will be the order object only with the order status. So initially order status will be blank, empty, and once order is confirmed, and we'll get the response back with the same order object. In that time we'll have an order status also, like, okay. So here the response will be message of order. right? So just import, and we have to use few annotations. So first one is on the on the interface messaging gateway. So this is the annotation we have to use using gateway, and here we have to use gateway. So here what we have to use, we have to mention the request channel. What is the request channel we have to use? Request channel we can use like request in channel of name we can use. So this is a request channel. I think we are using the same name. The interface name also same, right? Change this name. We have mentioned this order gateway, right? Now, so now our gateway is ready. So we created our gateway interface. Let's go to service, class, order service. So here, so in the diagram, if you see the diagram, we need to basically three things. One is place order we need, method we need, and we need a confirm order confirmation, and we need a reply channel. So we need these three things. So first, take this order, place order, right? So what this method is going to do is, so this is going to be the entry point. Like once your gateway is placing the message in the request in channel, and here we have to mention like this going to be this service activator. So here I have to mention what is the input channel. So we'll mention this same channel name here. So what it means, when the gateway is placing the message in the request in channel, this method will be activated. So that's why we're mentioning if any message is there in this request in channel, this method needs to be activated. So that's the reason we are mentioning service activator with the input channel. So once it's got processed, where the message needs to be placed. So we have to mention the output channel also here. So output channel, what you are mentioning is here, uh, order order kind order process channel. So once it's received the message here, we will place it into order process channel where the order actually will be processed. Okay, so straight away we can return the message because we are not going to interrupt anything in the order object. So we straight away return the order object. Okay, so that's it. Now we will write the our order processing method. So what we are going to do is, so here only we are going to mention our order status. So this method is going to be the place where the our actual third party integrations will come into place. So here we are not going to actually integrate with other systems. This is just to demonstrate how this Spring integration works. So in the real time, so this method will be the place where we have to integrate with other system, where we can be integrated with the MQs, messaging queues, IBM MQ, Apache Kafka, Solace MQs, or or if you want any REST integration kind of thing. So whatever, if you want to integrate with a third party system or external system, so this will be the place where we have to write your code and logics. So here we are not going to write that kind of logic because we're just going to demonstrate you just a kind of a prototype we're going to demonstrate it. So here what we are going to do is, in the order object we are going to set the status. Let's consider order successfully placed. Okay, so order dot get payload. So order is wrapped with the message, right? So it is having the headers, and we have it has the our payload. So we have to get our payload and then set our order status. Okay, so we just mention order successfully placed, right? So we just mention the order status and then return the order object, right? So here we have to mention the service activator. So because when this method need to be invoked. So input channel will be this one, right? Because once the message is placed into this channel, then this method need to be activated. So once this got processed, where it has to go? It has to go for a reply channel. So he just mentioned the output channel as reply channel. Order reply channel, right? So once this order is here, if this line we have processor order, so we just mentioned the status is order successfully placed, and we are placing this order object into order reply channel. So we write one more method, click void, because it's not going to return anything, it could directly going to place it. Void reply order message. So here first we'll mention this one, like service activator. Input channel will be this one, order by channel. We're not going to mention output channel because we're going to send it to the reply channel. So reply channel details will be there in the this message object header itself. What you have to do is, first we have to get the reply channel, like message channel order dot s dot get reply channel, right? So now reply channel dot send off the object. So we have to, so that's it. Now our reply channel also ready. So this will be the kind of flow. First, order no gateway. This will be our entry point. So once message is coming to this gateway, this will place the gateway will place the message into request in channel. So we have a service activator for request in channel. Once request is placed in the request in channel, this method will be activated. Place order method will be activated, and whatever logic you want to write, we can write it here. If you want to amend any request, any data, if you want to add any header, those things we can do it in this area, and we can return the object, and whatever you are returning it, it will be placed in the output channel, whatever you are mentioning it. Okay, so it will be placed in the order process channel. So for order process channel, we have a service activator. We have a input channel as order. which means whatever message placed in the order post channel, then this method will be activated. So we are not mentioning what type of channel it is. So which means Spring integration by default it will use the direct channel. Okay, then it will be processed here, and we have output channel for this. And once the order reply channel is getting the message, this method will be invoked, and we are getting the reply channel from the message object itself, and we're sending back the response. Reply channel dot send of whatever the object we want. Right. So now the order service is ready. So whatever the Spring components we want to write, we do type. So it's a very simple example. We are not using splitter, router, aggregator, and all, but it's a very plain and simple example where I want to demonstrate it. In the upcoming sessions, we will use all different components like splitter, aggregator, and router, all those stuffs. Now we will write a controller and we will test our application. Order controller, click place order. Hmm, we need a gateway object here, right? Wire. So here we just call wait dot place order of, that's it. So I know the it will basically it will, what is the return type we have? Order object have return type of is of order, right? So we have to get order dot to get in this way of order we will get a object equal to order and equal to what is the wrong here? Method order place type order gateway is not applicable for argument order. What is the type we have? One okay, so it should be order. It's a order object only, right? So object dot get payload. So then we can return this response object, right? So our control is almost ready. It with test controller. Our control is ready, and our gateway is ready, and our order service is ready, our model is ready. So all set. This test our application. So let me start. Starting. So it is successfully started. In the log, you can see uh, the beans like started bean, uh, order gateway. So these details you can able to see that like gateway whatever we have created, the bean is created for that. So let's Uh, so go to Postman, paste the message. So this will be your URL like localhost. Cannot mention the port explicitly, so it will be 8080. Place order. This is a no, request object I build like order ID 100, item name Apple, amount, and status ID. In the request, it will be blank, but in the response, you will get it. I'll trigger the request. We are getting internal server error place order. Being named channel available. Okay, I think we made a mistake. We have to hunt it with service so that the service object will be created. Let me restart. Started. Go back to Postman. Trigger again. Yeah, now we got a response like the same order object with order status. Order access. Right. So just to show one more thing, 300 orange and 39 rupees. Same thing. So we got a response. So as I said earlier, the Spring integration, if you not mention the service channel name explicitly, by default it will use the uh, direct channel. So I just show you how to create a channel, the direct channel itself, but there will not be any difference. But still we can create it like public channel. For example, we are going to create a channel for this order process channel. Okay, so like process channel, new direct channel. That's it. So we here we have to create theme and we have to provide the. So for which we are creating it, we are creating it for order process channel. Here we can not make any sense because by default it's going to use direct channel only. But if you want to create, you can. There will not be any difference actually. Starting it again. But this will be this creating other than direct channel, we have to create a channel explicitly and we have to mention parameters like if it is a queue channel, what is the queue size, executor channel, what is the we have to pass the executor object to create the different threads. So those things we will configure in our next sessions. But for direct channel, it is not going to make any sense for creating direct channel explicit. So application started. Let's go and test one more time. Figuring it, we get the same response. There will not be any difference. So that's it, guys. I hope you fairly understand what is Spring integration and the different components and how it works. I just demonstrated you the direct channel how this works. The very simple example. In our upcoming sessions, we will see the other channels implementations and how it works. Thanks for watching this video, and please do subscribe and share this video with your friends. And please share your comments on the comment section. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.